ที่พาให้เราได้มาพบกันจนเราผูกพันกันมาแสนนานกี่พันปัญหาใดๆที่เราร่วมกันก้าวผ่านจนวันนี้ล้อมรวมเป็นหนึ่งเดียวพวกเราร่วมกันเป็นผู้เดินนำการท่องเที่ยวจนก้าวไกลมือทั้งสองคอยโอบประคองให้บ้านชื่อไทยสุขใจหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็มีความหมายทำให้พวกเรายังก้าวไปด้วยหัวใจสื่อตรงที่จะทำดีหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็ดูยิ่งใหญ่เตือนให้พวกเราได้เข้าใจว่าเพื่อใครที่ฉันต้องดูแลบ้านของเราให้ดีพวกเราร่วมกันเป็นผู้เดินนำการท่องเที่ยวจนก้าวไกลมือทั้งสองคอยโอบประคองให้บ้านชื่อไทยสุขใจหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็มีความหมายทำให้พวกเรายังก้าวไปด้วยหัวใจสื่อตรงที่จะทำดีหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็ดูยิ่งใหญ่เตือนให้พวกเราได้เข้าใจว่าเพื่อใครที่ฉันต้องดูแลบ้านของเราให้ดีเป็นผู้เดินนำการท่องเที่ยวจนก้าวไกลมือทั้งสองคอยโอบประคองให้บ้านชื่อไทยสุขใจหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็มีความหมายทำให้พวกเรายังก้าวไปด้วยหัวใจสื่อตรงที่จะทำดีหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็ดูยิ่งใหญ่เตือนให้พวกเราได้เข้าใจว่าเพื่อใครที่ฉันต้องดูแลบ้านของเราให้ดีจะทุ่มเทตลอดไปเพราะเมืองไทยคือหัวใจของเราขอบคุณภูเขาทะเลที่พาให้เราได้มาพบกันจนเราผูกพันกันมาแสนนานกี่พันปัญหาใดๆที่เราร่วมกันก้าวผ่านจนวันนี้ล้อมรวมเป็นหนึ่งเดียวพวกเราร่วมกันเป็นผู้เดินนำการท่องเที่ยวจนก้าวไกลมือทั้งสองคอยโอบประคองให้บ้านชื่อไทยสุขใจหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็มีความหมายทำให้พวกเรายังก้าวไปด้วยหัวใจสื่อตรงที่จะทำดีหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็ดูยิ่งใหญ่เตือนให้พวกเราได้เข้าใจว่าเพื่อใครที่ฉันต้องดูแลบ้านของเราให้ดี กันเป็นผู้เดินนำการท่องเที่ยวจนก้าวไกลมือทั้งสองคอยโอบประคองให้บ้านชื่อไทยสุขใจหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็มีความหมายทำให้พวกเรายังก้าวไปด้วยหัวใจซื่อตรงที่จะทำดีหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็ดูยิ่งใหญ่เตือนให้พวกเราได้เข้าใจว่าเพื่อใครที่ฉันต้องดูแลบ้านของเราให้ดีกันเป็นผู้เดินนำการท่องเที่ยวจนก้าวไกลมือทั้งสองคอยโอบประคองให้บ้านชื่อไทยสุขใจหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็มีความหมายทำให้พวกเรายังก้าวไปด้วยหัวใจซื่อตรงที่จะทำดีหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็ดูยิ่งใหญ่เตือนให้พวกเราได้เข้าใจว่าเพื่อใครที่ฉันต้องดูแลบ้านของเราให้ดีจะทุ่มเทตลอดไปเพราะเมืองไทยคือหัวใจของเราขอบคุณภูเขาทะเลที่พาให้เราได้มาพบกันจนเราผูกพันกันมาแสนนานที่พันปัญหาใดๆที่เราร่วมกันก้าวผ่านจนวันนี้ล้อมรวมเป็นหนึ่งเดียวพวกเราร่วมกันเป็นผู้เดินนำการท่องเที่ยวจนก้าวไกลมือทั้งสองคอยโอบประคองให้บ้านชื่อไทยสุขใจหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็มีความหมายทำให้พวกเรายังก้าวไปด้วยหัวใจซื่อตรงที่จะทำดีหนึ่งรอยยิ้มใครก็ดูยิ่งใหญ่เตือนให้พวกเราได้เข้าใจว่าเพื่อใครที่ฉันต้องดูแลบ้านของเราให้ดี วกเราร่วมกันเป็นผู้เดินนำการท่องเที่ยวจนก้าวไกลมือทั้งสองคอยโอบประคองให้บ้านชื่อไทยสุขใจหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็มีความหมายทำให้พวกเรายังก้าวไปด้วยหัวใจซื่อตรงที่จะทำดีหนึ่งรอยยิ้มของใครก็ดูยิ่งใหญ่เตือนให้พวกเราได้เข้าใจว่าเพื่อใครที่ฉันต้องดูแลบ้านของเราให้ดี
Opening up new feelings. I feel great in every moment when
Open to the new shades. Amazing Thailand.
สวัสดีค่ะ Good afternoon and welcome to the TAT webinar. My name is Piraya from the Europe, Africa, Middle East Market Division, Tourism Authority of Thailand, Head Office in Bangkok. And I'm pleased to be here again with you on the TAT webinar. On behalf of the TAT team, I would like to thank you for joining this afternoon's webinar entitled The Changes of the Russian Tourist Behaviors in Winter Season 2020-2021 by Onyx Tour, one of the biggest Russian tour operators. And in 2019, Onyx has sent nearly 300,000 Russian tourists to Thailand, making up around 20% of all Russian tourist arrivals to Thailand. And before we begin, please allow me to go through some important features to improve your webinar experience and keep you engaged during the next 60 minutes. And during this session, you can submit questions to our speaker using the Q&A icon on notebook or PC. It's on the left sidebar, and if you're joining on your mobile phone, it's on top of the screen. You can also vote for questions that you like in the Q&A box. The questions that receive the most votes will likely be asked and answered by our speakers first. On the bottom right of the screen, there's a chat box where you can chat with other webinar participants, or if you experience any difficulties during the live presentation, you can communicate with our admin team via this chat box as well. Please note, speakers won't see what's written in the chat box, so if you have questions for our speakers, please make sure you leave them, submit them in the Q&A section. And after this webinar, please leave your feedback and suggestions by filling in a short questionnaire using the questionnaire icon located near the Q&A. You can also suggest topics you want us to cover in future sessions. Your feedback helps us to make for future events better. Lastly, this webinar is being recorded. If you would like to watch it again, please visit TAT webinar site, tourismthailand.org/webinar, and go to the past event section. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce our well-respected speakers. First, Mr. Konstantin Kinel, Marketing Manager for the Russian market from the Tourism Authority of Thailand, Moscow office. Konstantin will give a brief of 5-minute topic introduction. And let's move to our keynote speaker today. It's my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Yana Muromova, Deputy General Manager of Onyx Tour. Hello, Yana.
Good afternoon.
She works for the Onyx Tour head office in Moscow since 2009 across a variety of different roles and was promoted to her current position in 2016. And she is now looking after all overseas offices and markets, including Thailand. And Yana will be with you presenting for 40 minutes, and she will share her deep knowledge on the changes of the Russian consumers' behavior in winter season. And at the end of this presentation, you will have around 15-minute Q&A opportunity with her. So make sure you leave questions in the Q&A section for Yana. Now, let's start the session with a topic introduction from Kun Konstantin. Over to you, Kun Konstantin.
Yes, I'm ready. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to visit us today, and we will continue a series of webinars concerning the Russian market. Yesterday, our director and me, we tried to explain you situation on the Russian market and perspectives of the Russian market, focus of the Russian market, but from the point of view of the National Tourism Organization, summary of the summaries, some marks from the expert of the travel business. And today, we would like to give you opportunity to listen another point of view, from another position, from the position of the tour operator, from the one of the biggest tour operator in Russian Federation and one of the biggest tour operator for Thailand destination. And first of all, I would like to say some information about the Onyx Tour, because today it will be the Onyx Tour. Onyx Tour on the Russian market from the 1996, he worked very hard with many destinations, and including Thailand by the charter flights. But later, Yana will explain you more details. Annex Tour also is our long-term partner for PR activities, for the advertising, for joint promotion activities, and in any spheres, in internet, in outdoor, indoor, for organizing the webinars, press conference, any updated product presentation. And it's very interesting that the latest outdoor advertising which TAT and Annex Tour organized in 60 cities of the Siberia and Far East will be our joint advertising, and it will be in the end of March. So I would like to show you this clip, this video, and please note that this is outdoor advertising, and it will be without sounds. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for your attention, and I would like to introduce you Mrs. Yana Muromova, Deputy General Manager of Annex Tour Russia. Anna, good afternoon. Are you ready?
Good afternoon, Konstantin. Good afternoon, dear friends. It's a pleasure for me to be with you today. Yes, of course, I'm ready. Let's start.
Okay, let's start.
One more time, I would like to say that it's a real pleasure for me to be with you today, because we really believe that working together and supporting each other, we will be able to exit from this pandemic successfully. First of all, let me shortly introduce our company. Next slide, please. Yes, as Konstantin rightly said, our company has 24 years history in the market, and Annex Tour is a part of global groups of companies, which include not just tour operator, but destination incoming companies, chain of own travel agencies, own air company with 30 aircrafts, and own hotel chains also. Next slide, please. So now I'm speaking about Russia, and in Russia we have annual volume with 2.5 million tourists every year, and we have tour packages to 54 destinations in the world from 49 cities in Russia. In each of these cities, we have our own outgoing office. Next slide, please. But now we are speaking about Thailand, and we have operation to Thailand more than 9 years, and annual volume of tourists to Thailand last year was about 300,000 tourists, both to Bangkok and Phuket from 18 cities of Russia. It's the second place in our annual volume after Turkey, so you can understand how Thailand is important for us. It's one of our major destinations, and I think all of us know us not just like Russian tour operator, but we have our own offices, incoming offices, Annex Tour offices in Thailand, and I know that general manager of this office, Aydin Demirci, is watching us, and say hello to him, Aydin. I feel they support us too. They support us very much now. And next slide, please. One more next slide. It's a very short slide. So if we speak about pandemic, tourism in Russia was the first industry which suffered from pandemic. And it started in the end of January with closing China destination. After that, we have a big chain of closing of destinations. And in the middle of March, we stopped all our sales abroad, and till the end of March, we returned all our tourists to Russia, back to Russia. So, and the first wave of panic of tourists passed, and now we have more optimistic picture, because if we speak about Thailand, the depth of sales was about 13%. So in the end of March, we have tens of thousands canceled tours. But just 20% of tourists want to return their money back for their tours. And other tourists are ready to leave their money as deposits for future travels. Even 70% of our tourists are ready to just change dates of their holidays with the same prices and same condition. It's very important because Russia really depends on exchange rates. And last time we observed decline of ruble. So tourists afraid that prices future could really be higher. So next slide, please. Okay. Unfortunately, still COVID cases in Russia are really high, and daily we have not less than 10,000 new COVID cases. It's really high numbers, but in spite of these numbers, we have a tendency to weak quarantine measures in Russia. 2 days ago, all construction and industry companies started to work hard 100%. And in different regions of Russia, even services companies started to work, of course, with observing all safe conditions as sanitizing all buildings, all transport and all surfaces, with wearing masks and gloves and observing social distance, of course. So next slide, please. Let's speak about our forecast about returning tourism. Of course, as I said, numbers of COVID cases are still very high, but we are looking optimistic to travel opportunities. Firstly, because we have new information that regular air companies and even our air company with charter flights starting operation to domestic tourism resorts as Sochi and Crimea in the beginning of June. So it gives us a chance to think that tourism in Russia, domestic tourism, will have step-by-step return in the middle of June or in July. It will be really very optimistic forecast. So if you speak about international tourism, it's the most important question for us. We are waiting that in the end of July, our situation will be more stable, and we will have a chance to start slowly operations to some countries. Of course, as it was closing step by step each country and finished with regular flights of Aeroflot, the same way it will be opening of destinations starting with regular flights. But the main thing is that Thailand for us is not just winter destination. It's whole year destinations, and especially for Siberia regions, Thailand destination is very important. So as we operate in our own charter programs, we will be able to start our first flight not later than 1 week after having permission to fly to Thailand. So we hope that not just winter season will be full and successful in Thailand, but even short parts of summer season will be able to operate too. Next slide, please. Then let's start to speak about Russian tourist behavior. It's the most important questions for us. And as we are operating with 2.5 million tourists a year, we could give you some statistic from us. And this statistics show that 70% of tourists ready to travel the same way without any safe conditions. The first day, then abroad flights will be opened. Just 20% of tourists will travel more safely, and just 10% of travelers are not ready to travel again next year. Next slide, please. So now we have a lot of discussions what conditions and will be used in tourism to do our holidays more safe. And frankly speaking, we have a lot of discussions, but and we understanding that all these measures will do our costs higher, much higher. But even anyway, I will speak about these possible conditions. First of all, we are speaking about possibilities of do exit visas to go abroad, or not just exit visas, but checking COVID before going abroad and after arrival to destinations. So air companies are now speaking about social distance in the aircraft. So it will be possible to use not 3 chairs, but just 2 chairs, leaving 1 chair between 2 tourists. But air company now in Russia not ready to follow these conditions because of costs, of course. Costs will be much higher, and even they not believe that it will be safely to travel, more safe to travel like with the distance or without this distance. That's why they're thinking about leaving just masks and gloves, but saving price of flights in the same rates. If we speak about hoteliers, you know that I said that the biggest volume from Russia is to Turkey, of course, and now they're thinking about safety certificates to the hotels. In these certificates, hotels speak about, for example, opening buffets in the restaurants and using just a la carte menus, and closing all closed pools, all closed water zones, sauna, and so on, and observing social distance in the public areas and beaches. And I know opinion of biggest hotels in Turkey. They're saying that it's impossible to make these conditions for all tourists too, because it depends not just on the hotels, but depends on how tourists behavior in the holiday. And if you speak about Russian tourists, unfortunately, our behavior and our standards of traveling is about 20 years behind European standards. Of course, when we speak about Moscow and St. Petersburg, these cities are closer to European standards, and buying tours online and working online and ready to follow all these new conditions. But regions are not like this. Even during quarantine measures, people still visiting markets, not doing online shopping and so on. They're still thinking that traveling could not be just online, and it's impossible to follow all these conditions. And then they will come to a holiday, they will behave the same way. That's why it doesn't matter if we have social distance on the beaches and public areas or not, if people will behave the same way. Next slide, please. Sorry. But you know, now nobody traveling, but it doesn't matter that people will not travel again. They are really waiting, opening abroad and start travel again, and so we are waiting pent up demand. What does it mean? That means that now people waiting and don't travel, but when we are start traveling again, first 1 year, they will travel much more than last year, for example. And it will be difficult to follow these conditions when a lot of people wanted to travel again. Even we are thinking about increasing charter program to Thailand if we have higher demand when we are waiting. So why it's like this? Because all people are really tired about staying home, don't traveling, don't go anywhere, and they will be ready to save on some goods, on shoppings, and so on, but they will travel because everybody understands that now understand that conditions that we lived before is not always we have not. It doesn't mean that always we will have these conditions, and every day we live and know that tomorrow everything could change. That's why when traveling will start again, people will travel more with more pleasure, I could say like this. But on the other hand, as I said, Thailand is more regional destination, I could say, because from Moscow and St. Petersburg flight is more than 9 hours, and it make tour packages prices higher. But for Siberian regions like Novosibirsk, like Tyumen, so on, flight destination is much shorter, and for them, Thailand is like Turkey for Moscow citizens. That's why they're really waiting of opening. They're really waiting of opening flights to Thailand. But we are speaking about regions, and as I said, their behavior is not like behavior of Moscow and St. Petersburg citizens. And the main things I want to say is that importance of tour operator during this pandemic was really increased. Why it increased, I can explain. Tour operator not just providing a full package of traveling to tourists. Tour operator have really very important mission to be responsible for tourists in every step of his traveling, starting from aircraft, after that transfers, after that staying at hotel, excursions, and so on. And when this pandemic happened, people who bought packages from tour operator didn't think about what they will do and how they will return to Russia. We thought about that, and we did for them everything and returned them home. But if we speak about individual travelers who do their packages themselves, and first they do one conditions for aircraft, another conditions for hotels, and so on, so on. After, when they come to, for example, come to Thailand and Thailand destination was closed, they did not know what to do. They did not want to do and where to go to come back to Russia, except consulate. That's why importance of tour operators will increased. And what about behavior of how to buy these tours for tourists? A lot of people say that they will start buying tourists online, tours online and not go to travel agencies, but it's not like this, especially for regions. If we speak about our company, we have our B2C website. There people could buy tours online themselves, and its volume of such sales not more than 1% from all volume. Also, we have a lot of partners, online travel agents, who sell their tours just online. But the volume of whole these online travel agents not more than 15% of our whole volume. It means that more than 18% of all tourists still going to travel agents still need to have one person to whom they could ask all their questions, to whom they could call in the night in the airport and ask where is my air company and where should I go. Our tourists still in Russia still don't have so much knowledge to travel themselves. They always need support and they always need somebody to be responsible for their traveling. But also I should say about the ratings from prices. Now, all my presentation, I spoke about that all conditions that could do our holiday safe. They will make our costs much higher, not just our costs, but costs of hotels, costs of air company. But if we watch behavior of our tourists, not less than 18% of our tourists still choosing their tours just looking on price and nothing else. The first conditions that they choose when travel, low price. And as I said, even after pandemic, people will continue travel. And of course, most of these people will wait lower price, even lower price than they paid before pandemic. And I said earlier that our exchange rates always change, and ruble position is not so strong. That's why people want to be sure that they could travel with their possible budget. So, but if we speak about other 20% of all our volume, they increase value of traveling and will start to travel more thinking about their holiday. And they will not just travel to stay on the beach and to have fun, but they will try to combine their travel purpose. What I'm speaking about. First of all, they will try to combine their travel with their hobbies or with education. So we start to think about thematical tours for such travelers, like fitness tours, yoga tours, like tours with different types of education, especially for education for social media, for photos, tours, more excursion programs for such tourists. So it's like our expectations about tourist behavior. I think that we have some questions. Do we have another slide or not? I don't remember. Yes, we speak about support of tourism. Yes, it's very important topic because now we see that a lot of hotels, a lot of tour operators, a lot of travel agencies try not to do try not to do anything. They're just waiting. They're staying at home, they close their offices, and they don't communicate with tourists. But importance of tourism is in our hand. And we should be in contact with our tourists and with our potential clients all the time. Unfortunately, now we mostly could do it just through social media, and we stay our active position in social media. You know that now everybody is in Instagram and everybody watching big bloggers and influencers. So we think that this type of advertising and this type of promotion will be more and more popular in the future, because everybody wants to live the same way as influencers live. So they want the same picture in their Instagram, they want the same food, eat the same food, they want to travel the same way. How they could travel like this, you could ask me, because for example, one big blogger traveled to Maldives with several millions of rubles, but our tourists could not do that because they prefer low prices. What we're speaking about, but it does not mean if a person watching blogger or influencer, they will want to go the same Maldives holiday. The important thing is that they want to go. They want to go holiday, and even if this holiday is cheap, they will go. They will go to show good pictures, to show good videos, good stories, and to show that they live the similar life like bloggers live. And if we speak about our cooperation with Thailand Tourism Office and with our hoteliers, first of all, I want to thank all our partners or all our hotels that they are working with us together and they support us. And mostly of them are ready to prolong and to change dates of holidays to our tourists. It's very important for us, but we really ask our partners not to forget about the tourists. Maybe now you saw that in our Instagram we have such kind of marathon. There our destination companies, offices of tourism and hotels have a short video about situation today at destination, about how they waiting the tourists and how tourists are important for them. So I really ask hotels to continue do such videos, to continue to show pictures and video from hotels, to show how they are waiting tourists and how tourists are important for them. It's a very good idea to do now online streams and webinars like Office of Tourism of Thailand do right now. It's really very important to do the same things, not just for professional market, for hotels, agencies, and tour operators, but for tourists too. And it's important to use this time to use new online formats, new online marathons, new online giveaways for tourists, to do virtual tours among hotels, to show what is the situation in the what is situations in the resorts right now, and For example, several days ago, we had video from Vietnam beaches where people really started to swim and have sun baths and have fun. And when we showed this video to our tourists, they were really happy to watch it, and it's like a hope for them that they could travel soon too. So I think it's I'm close to the end of my presentations, but I see that there are a lot of questions. Thank you. Yes, thank you for attention. It was a pleasure for me to explain you our position. And the main thing and the main idea of this presentation is that, yes, everybody says that our world will change after pandemic, but it's not the same for Russian people. We really very soon forgot all difficult times because we always optimistic and we always believe in better life and don't want to remember bad days.
Well, thank you, and spasiba, Yana, for sharing such useful information about the Russian tourist behavior. So may I recap some key points from your presentation? So Alex has been in the tourism business for over 20 years, and last year Alex sent around 300,000 Russian tourists from
Right.
18 cities around Russia to Thailand with regular
Yes.
and charter flights. Yeah, and
I'm speaking about just charter flights.
oh wow, so 18
program.
cities charter flight program. Yeah.
Yes. We have our own charter program with our own aircraft from 18 cities of Russia.
Oh, that's great. And I'm very happy to hear that all the canceled tours due to the pandemic, the COVID-19, most of them are ready to negotiate and use the same tour. That's great. It's great news to hear for the Thai hotels out there. And another good news is that Onyx will be ready to send the first batch of Russian tourists to Thailand just 1 week after you receive permission to fly to Thailand.
Yes, you're right.
That's great. All right, so I see that we have a lot of questions. So let's jump to the Q&A session. And now for those of you who have not submitted your questions, please do so using the Q&A box. And those of you who live in the chat box, please move them to the Q&A because we don't see what's written on the chat box. Now, can we have Konstantin up to the screen as well? Maybe you can help us answering some questions.
Yeah,
Thank
ready.
you. All right, the first question about flights. International flights from Russia and CIS may be resumed when and which destinations in Thailand will be the top 3 destinations after the COVID-19? Yana?
As I said before, we are waiting that in August, regular flights will start flying to Thailand too. And we know that COVID situation in Thailand is really very optimistic and one of the best in the world. That's why I think mostly it depends of you. If you want Russian people come to you or not, if you're afraid of Russian COVID situation or not. It's the most important question. And if you speak about Thailand, of course, I could say about even 2 top destinations. It's Bangkok plus Pattaya and Phuket. But also we have our operations to other regions such as Samui, Koh Chang, and combined to other resorts.
Okay, thank you. So the main destinations are still Bangkok, Phuket, and Pattaya. And you're so
Phuket is the first place. Phuket the first place, after the Pattaya.
Oh, okay. Pattaya and Phuket, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. And next question, please. How's about social distancing for shuttle flight seat? It's expected to have full flight or 30-50% of seats for each flight?
I spoke about this in my presentations, and we have a lot of discussions with air company about these conditions to leave social distance in the aircraft. But actually, if we speak about health and COVID risks, this distance in aircraft is nothing. Because during the flight we have no fresh air, and even if we have social distance, it doesn't save us from the COVID risks. So it will be the same thing if we fly full flight without distance, but using masks and gloves. It will be the same. But if we have distance, the price of flight will be at least 50% higher, and nobody could buy it, especially if we speak about tour operator packages. Tour operator means lower price, because if persons want to be safe and want to fly safe, I said it's about 10 persons who want to travel safer, they could buy special conditions from regular flights to fly safe, with the price with which regular flights could provide them to fly safe. Maybe it will be not just distance with one chair. It could be just one person's at free chair or so on. Everything is dependent on price. But if we speak about charter air companies and about low-cost air company, they are not ready to do social distance at flights.
Okay, so thank you, Yana. So social distancing will probably not happen on charter flight because tour operators are competing with price, on packages, and the clients who choose tour operators, they also choose tour operators based on price as well. So if ours can fit 100%, then we'll send a full plane to Thailand.
I would like to say, yes, I would like to say that everything depends on the international by IATA or governmental rules and regulation. In this situation,
okay, so we are speaking now from the side of the tour operator. So if there's any regulations or measurements from the government, we'll have to follow. Yeah.
Yes, but from this moment, yes.
Yes.
I could add one more opinion about this situation. If we speak about tour operator and hotels, frankly speaking, we have opportunity not to work. It's possible for us for 2-3 months. Yes, it will be difficult, but it's possible. But it's impossible for aircraft and air company not to work. It's very risky, and it's very expensive to leave aircrafts on the land. Aircraft should fly. Then they don't fly. It's really very expensive, and even several air companies now finished their work at all. They bankrupt, and we are waiting more and more air companies who finished their work during this pandemic, because it's really very risky and very expensive. That's why when the roads will open and people want to travel, they don't reduce their holidays, as I said. They just want to change dates. They need to fly. And if they have distance and fly just 50% of aircraft, we will fly very long just to close our obligatories for earlier tours.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So it's clear that tour operators will fly 100%, not using the social distancing for charter flight for now, but we'll see what might change in the future. So next question, please. do you expect that tour packages in the coming winter season will be more expensive due to the new flight regulations and currency exchange rate? I think you kind of answered a little bit in the previous answers, but you can recap again, Yana.
Absolutely, it will be more expensive. More expensive because of different things. First thing is because of currency exchange. Ruble coming down, unfortunately, and it will be at least 15% more expensive because of exchange rates in new season. The second thing is that hotels and tour operators have a lot of repayment tours. So first time we will work as just providing services and tours to tourists who paid us money or who paid money to hotels this winter. We will not have new money and we will not have new incoming payments. That's why, of course, it will do tourists more expensive. But it doesn't mean that tourists will not travel. They will travel. But if, for example, last year they traveled to 5-star hotels, this year maybe they will fly to 4-star hotels. Or if they fly to, they have budget. And if they have budget 100 euro last year, they will travel with the same budget, but with different conditions, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you. So this upcoming winter season, so our next tour will try to organize tours mostly for the clients that got canceled, their tours canceled during the COVID-19 first. And then, of course, the packages will be more expensive for the new clients, but it will not be too expensive, for them. And all of them, they have their set budget. So if they have their set budget of 100,000 rubles, and they can work on that. They can drop from 5-star hotel to 4-star, 3-star, and within their range of budget, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's move to the next question. We have a lot of questions for you, Yana. Traveling season for Russian remain the same as usual if there was any affected by Russian government prevention, such as school break? Would it be the same, the traveling season?
As I said, Thailand for us is whole year destination. That's why it continue to be whole year destinations, and we think that even we will have growth of volume because of two main reasons. The first reason is pent-up demand. People who didn't travel this period, they wanted to travel, and who planned to travel, they will travel together. And the second thing, if we speak about just Annex tour, of course, we're waiting that our travel market, tour operating market in Russia will change. And of course, we don't want this, but a lot of companies, a lot of tour operators will left market and will close. So now they have volume to Thailand, and I think we are waiting that tourists will come for this volume to us. So we are waiting that our volume to Thailand destination will increase at least 20-25%.
Okay, thank you, Yana. So Thailand as a nation is a whole year round destination for Russians, so it's good to hear. And so despite the school break, it doesn't really matter because they will come anyway when they can make time within their family, right? Okay.
Yes.
So let's jump to the next question. what is the highest expectation of Russian tourists for a hotel? That's quite a broad question.
Price. The main expectation always price.
And healthy security.
Yes, and health security. Of course, sometimes Russian tourists are really crazy and they don't think about safe, but hotels should think about safe. And of course, price and safe will be the most important conditions for our tourists.
Okay, so price is mainly the Russian think is the highest expectation when they book a hotel. But what about the luxury segment?
Luxury
What
segment, as always in Russia, all crises, some people become more richer, and all other people start to have less money. So rich people, luxury segment will stay the same. Will stay the same. Nothing will change.
Okay, so it's good to hear that luxury
Even
segment.
they are waiting from Thailand to increase this luxury segment. We spoke with Konstantin a lot that till now, Thailand in Russian mind is still destination with low prices. When we could go for example, to stay winter in Thailand, to leave our apartments in Russia and stay in Thailand because it's cheap. But everything is changing, and Thailand changed. Thailand have very expensive and luxury resorts, luxury hotels, and we really want to change in the mind of rich people, in the mind of luxury segment, their attitude to Thailand. We want to show that Thailand is not worse than Maldives or not worse than Caribbean destinations, and it's possible for luxury segment to travel more to Thailand.
Oh, that's
And
really good.
yes, and one more condition, because not the condition, but for the luxury tourist, they pay more attention again for the health security, for the opportunity to reinforce the immunity. It means that in this situation, of course, luxury tourist, their demand will be mostly for the health and health security.
Okay, that's great. So the luxury segment will now consider Thailand as a destination for the luxury travelers, and we've been working hard on the image of Thailand from cheap, affordable destination to another step up, that we also have a variety of luxury hotels and resorts and facilities for this segment to come and experience. Okay, next question. Will there be a risk with the payments from agents due to the COVID-19? Oh, okay. So I could relate this to what happened not long ago from the TUI contract, the TUI Europe contract. So I think they are wondering if there's a risk for the Russian side.
Are we speaking about travel agents or agents? You mean tour operators or whole market? What?
I think
What kind
for tour operators as well.
Operators, yes.
Yeah, tour operators.
Tourism is very risky business at all, and of course we are waiting that. As I said, we are waiting that tour operators will leave market. Even we are waiting that they leave market with the obligatories. I mean, they will left tourists without money and without holiday. We are waiting about this, but in this way, the important thing is that we have strict law for tour operators in Russia, and every tour operator have both insurance and they have phone government fund. There they put money, and after leaving market, government, our regulator, our Rostourism, will open this fund to return money for tourists. So, but if we speak about travel agencies, there is no regulation in tourism market for travel agencies. And it's more risky because a lot of travel agencies, they take money from tourists for future tours, but still didn't pay this money to us, for example. And it's very easy for travel agents to leave market, to close the office, and to finish their work. And after pandemic finish, they could again open the office with another name or with another owner and start working again, still having obligatories for tours in the first company, for example.
Yana, I think that this question concerning the relationship between the tour operators and hotels and resorts, it means that how the risk that it will be some non-payment situation from the tour operators to hotels. But it depends on the conditions of the contract.
Yes, first it depends on condition of the contracts, and it depends on how
this is the normal business. Okay, this is the business.
It's about
have some risk.
How strong this company and what this company have. For example, if you speak about tour operating companies, why everybody speaks that there are just 4 big companies in Russia and government support just these companies with just 4 or 5 big companies. It's not about like this. Government mostly support tour operators with own air companies because they know that these companies have more risks and they are more stable in the market. And if they support these companies, they support whole market because we are responsible not just for our business as tour operator, we are as Annex Tour, we are responsible for all market too. And if we speak about such big tour operators with strong reputation, I think hotels should not afraid of risk with payments. Because now, if they will afraid of risk of payments and do strong conditions to their partners, it could break our market.
I see. I think that the question concerning the exactly Annex Tour, but I think that for Annex Tour, no any. I hope.
So you can let them know that they can be sure that after here.
Okay.
Okay, in summary, so Yana said that big tour operators in Russia are receiving good support from the government, especially tour operators with own charter flight program. So don't be worried about that, about the payments with the big tour operators. But it might be more risky, for the small travel agencies in Russia, but not the big ones, like obviously. Okay. So
Absolutely
next.
Right.
Now we back to the luxury market. So this is from Phuket Hotel, I guess. It's about how about the ultra luxury market for Phuket destination? Is it going to be the same behavior as per your presentation, Yana?
If we speak about ultra luxury market, of course, such type of clients will wait the best of the best quality of behavior from the hotels. Not just from the hotels, but from tour operator, from air companies too. Because yes, the percent of such clients are not so high, but clients give for us chance to earn money, to have good good sales. That's why they will wait from us very clear and very high quality behavior in all aspects, starting from business class in aircrafts and ending attention and attitude from hoteliers.
Okay. So obviously the luxury segment, they will expect, quite highly for the destination they're going to be in, the hotel they will be staying. We are running out of time. So I think
some remarks concerning the ultra luxury, because one of the ultra luxury product for the tourist, this is the pool villas, and this is also good not only for the conditions, luxury conditions, but this is very good for the healthy security. And I hope that for the coming season, pool villas will be one of the most requested product for the ultra luxury tourist. Okay.
Thank you, Konstantin. So we have time for only 2 more questions. So let's jump to the next one. Okay, what are the main focus for Russian travelers that we should target in Bangkok? Are they willing to spend luxury or mid-range hotel during their stay? Okay, you can answer from your perspective as a tour operator, Yana.
If I speak as a tour operator, I said that we have, for example, 300,000 tourists a year to Thailand, and not less than 250,000 from this volume wait from us low price. And of course, they will choose packages with low prices firstly, and they will not think about how they will do their holiday safer. They will think how to travel with their budget. But if we speak about other tourists, it's very important to give so many services and so many extra services as hotel could provide to satisfy all types of clients. For example, if persons want to travel safe and want to make the holiday safe, hotels should provide such a package for this tourist, even if he has no such safe conditions for all other tourists. But he should provide these services with extra payment, of course. And I think if hotel will be flexible in their rates, in their conditions, in their extra services, it will be better for the hotel and for the perspective to have more demand from tourists. For example, hotel could sell 70% of their rooms the same condition that like it was last year, but other persons of rooms with special conditions for people who want to travel safe. For example, 3 rooms and just one from these rooms will be with tourists and other 2 rooms will be without tourists, guarantee, but with special price, special extra price. So every would make his holiday in each hotel more safety, even if other people, especially Russian people, I said that they are crazy about not to travel safe, but tourists will be able to organize his holiday safer with money. And of course, it's a very, very nice time for boutique hotels with low number of rooms, because it will be easier to promote this hotel life like a safe holiday, because maybe it's just 20 rooms, and to organize 20 rooms, it's easier to do holiday safer than if we speak about 500 room hotels, for example. If 500 room hotels will decide to do holiday of all tourists in this hotel safe, packages to this hotel will be very, very high. and nobody will buy it, unfortunately.
Okay.
We should
Thank you.
separate product who can travel safe or who can travel the same way.
Okay. So thank you, Ayana. So hotels have to, target their customers. You want the niche segment or you want the mass segment, which Arnex tour, more than 80% of Arnex customers also, look at price as a main factor when buying a tour. So to answer this question, mid-range hotel will be the ones that they choose. Next question and the last one. What is expected ADR that would be created for Russian market? Also, what can they expect as demography? Solo, couple, family?
Our holiday is mostly for family. Our mostly tourists. I mean, our mostly reservation is double plus one, double plus one, double plus two children with family.
Okay, so the demography of most Russian travelers to Thailand family group, yeah.
Family.
All right,
Family and couples.
and couples, yeah. So family will be the first, and then couple.
As we speak about tour operators, not solo. It's very low percent of solo tourists. Normally, they're traveling themselves. But for us, at the first place, families, after that, couples.
Yes, because for the solo, most of them, of course, this is independent tourists, both men and women, and they prefer to book and travel solo without anybody around them.
All right. So we running out of time, and I think it's about time we have to wrap up. And I would like to thank you, Yana and Konstantin, for your time today and sharing such valuable insights and information and updates for everyone, for all the audience, and all your answers to the Q&As are very useful. And thank you all now at home and at work for joining us today and being a part of this webinar. Your participation is very important for us. And the next session will happen tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Bangkok time, still in the Eastern Europe market. And the topic is Czech market insight and opportunities. And tomorrow's keynote speaker is Mr. Jan Papež, the spokesman of the Czech Tour Operator Association and CEO of Marco Polo Travel Agency. Don't forget to reserve your seat by registering for the next session. Click on the blue TAT event logo on top left of your screen right now, or visit TAT website at tourismthailand.org/webinar. Your feedback is valuable, so please leave your feedback and suggestions by filling in our short questionnaire. The icon is located next to the Q&A. It will take you not more than 1 minute. Lastly, all TAT webinar sessions are recorded and are available on the TAT webinar homepage in the past event section. You can use the same access code you used to join this webinar today to watch the replay. Again, thank you for joining us today. It's very much appreciated. สวัสดีค่ะ